My administration is also taking on junk fees, those hidden surcharges too many companies use to make you pay more. For example, we're making airlines show you the full ticket price up front, refund your money if your flight is canceled or delayed.
I'm here for that. The president has officially made good on that commitment. Today, his administration unveiled 2 new rules for airlines requiring automatic cash refunds and prohibiting surprise fees. It is the latest move in Biden's push to protect American consumers. Back with us tonight in person to discuss, former Democratic Congressman Max Rose of New York, and Reed Galen is here, co-founder of the Lincoln Project. He also has worked on a number of GOP campaigns, including John McCain, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and George W. Bush. Max, today we've got these new airline rules. We're talking about it here tonight. But by the time these benefits kick in, are people going to even realize that it was President Biden that made that happen?
Sure. And I think it's the responsibility of the Biden team to remind them over again. What's been fascinating with this, the announcement and now the implementation, is the Republican response, which is, oh, he's playing politics. He's playing politics because he and his administration did something that helps people, helps their pocketbooks, helps the average person in a frustrating moment. This is ridiculous. He's playing politics. What the hell do you think he's supposed to be doing?
What the hell is your impression of Republicans?
That's really how we talk.
It's just like the ultimate dork. But in reality, though, this is why all too often in today's modern political discourse, you actually can't listen to the opposition too much, because no matter what you do, they will stand up and criticize it. Either, the administration is being elitist and ignoring the pocketbook concerns of people, or when they're doing that, they're just pandering. They're just pandering and playing politics. This good policy is good politics, and this is both, and we should celebrate that.
Do you think it'll impact President Biden in November?
I don't know about that, but the good news is, to Max's point, you have someone like a Pete Buttigieg, who's Secretary of Transportation. This rule came out of the Transportation Department, so it wouldn't surprise me if you see Secretary Pete out on the road a lot. He has been already. And so, look, do I think that it will help in November? Sure. I think it's all additive. I think, as Max said, this is good for people. I mean,
he's doing something while Trump is either sitting in Trump Tower today having no campaign events, or sitting in court in a criminal trial.
Right. It's better to be doing something for the people than, going through this yet again.
You could be on the trail or be on trial. Yesterday was a primary day in Pennsylvania, a closed primary, no surprise. President Biden won, Donald Trump won. But on the Republican side, Nikki Haley received more than 155,000 votes. Max, the Biden administration thinks that is a good sign for him. Sure. What do you think?
You're absolutely correct. I mean, what we saw throughout the Republican primary, because it was quite obvious that Donald Trump was the presumptive nominee for quite some time, and nonetheless, over and over again, roughly 40% of the electorate resoundingly said they are anti-Trump, and in exit polls said that they will not be voting for Donald Trump in the general election. And now we have this ultimate example of that, which is even after she dropped out, they're willing to go to the polls and still vote for her, not because I don't believe it's any resounding support for Nikki Haley herself, but because it is an opportunity for them to express opposition to Donald Trump. And that fervor, not just within persuadables, not just within the Democratic base, but within Republican primary voters. These are traditional Republican voters who are so anti-Trump. That's a very good sign for
and PA matters. What do you think?
I think that what matters most is not only that she got these votes, but where she got most of them, which were those collar counties around Philadelphia that are consistently purple in nature, right? They're always a battleground in this very, very important state. He was basically breaking even with Nikki Haley, who has been DOA for 6 weeks, right? And if we look back all the way to Iowa, right? And what did the Iowa voters say about Nikki Haley, which is if Nikki Haley wasn't going to be their nominee, they were going to vote for Joe Biden. And so I think that Trump has a massive issue. These voters are very likely to do one of two things: stay home, which Trump can't afford, or vote for Biden, which Trump can't afford. And I think, as you noted just a minute ago, he is sitting in a courtroom. He is not campaigning. He doesn't have the money to be running ads. And so I think that if Pennsylvania starts to stretch, what's Trump going to do? And not only this, who is he going to appeal to get Haley's voters back? He said he doesn't want rhinos like me. He doesn't want Haley's voters. Like, who exactly is going to vote for Donald Trump in numbers that get him back to the presidency? The only thing he has going for him is his name is Donald Trump. That's it.
You know who is going to vote for him? Bill Barr. And Donald Trump just tooled on him tonight. I want to share something. It's very rare that I read one of Donald Trump's social media posts, but tonight I feel inclined, where he wrote, wow, former AG Bill Barr, who let a lot of great people down by not investigating voter fraud in our country, has just endorsed me for president, despite the fact that I called him weak, slow-moving, lethargic, gutless, and lazy. Trump's actually right here. OK, he has said and done all those terrible things to Bill Barr. Bill Barr knows the danger that Donald Trump is to this country, yet he endorsed him. Can you explain to me why? It's like the revenge of Chris Sununu.
I really can't understand it. You know, is he trying to make a buck? Is he so insecure that he needs continued relevance? What Bill Barr came face to face with at the conclusion of the Trump presidency was Trump's authoritarian fascist nature and his absolute disregard for our democratic norms, values, and system, and nonetheless still turns around and supports him. But forget about Bill Barr. What matters is all the other Bill Barrs out there in the Republican Party right now who, despite Chris Sununu, is a fantastic example, that might like to raise their hand during the primary and express their fervent opposition to Donald Trump, talked about how dangerous he is, but now they see themselves slowly walking towards him. But what matters the most, though, not Bill Barr, not Chris Sununu, it's those 155,000 Nikki Haley voters in Pennsylvania, and it is that hardcore, persuadable middle who really wants nothing to do with the extremist MAGA base. And that's what's going to matter in this election.
I think Bill Barr and Chris Sununu and a lot of these people are hoping they stay out of the gulag if Trump comes back. You know what? That's not how it works in these kinds of movements. Bill Barr will have terrible things happen to him if Donald Trump.
Trump's coming for him.
Trump's coming for all of us. Let's be clear about that. Like, these people do not forget. And Barr has done the one thing, even after he's now engaging in the Tim Scott-like ritual humiliation, which is he betrayed Trump. And in these kinds of movements, betrayal is the ultimate sin. He'll never forgive Barr.
It's so embarrassing that Trump.
Oh, God.
For him. I mean, it's
really.
Bill Barr should never say anything publicly.
No. But you know what? He did give a major speech where he basically said that he didn't think that democracy was a great form of government. So really, maybe we shouldn't be surprised.